Welcome to the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast, a podcast that covers a wide range of topics. So come chill with us on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Here's your host, Mr. Anderson.
Hey, welcome everybody to episode 91 of the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast. I'm your host, Mr. Anderson. Thank you for tuning in today on the 29th of March, 2022. 29 March, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost there. We're almost to April. April. Can you believe it? It seemed like yesterday we were just celebrating the freaking New Year's. Time is moving. Time don't stand still. Make every day count. Again, appreciate you guys for tuning in today, hanging out with me today on a Tuesday. I hope and trust that you guys had a great Monday, great weekend, so on and so forth. Let's have a great Tuesday. Let's make this Tuesday better than it was yesterday. Make tomorrow better than today, so on and so forth, right? Keep it moving. Appreciate all the support. All right, so today is a celebration, right? It's a lot of things that's going on in the world. People are so enamored with the whole Russia-Ukraine situation, which is unfortunate. People talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation. I'm not even going there. So many issues in the world, positive issues, negative issues, so many issues. Some issues I will not touch. Politics, some of these other things, no desire to talk about it. I understand it. I get it. Don't want to talk about it. However, today I will talk about the city of Detroit, the Detroit Lions, hence the thumbnail. A celebration for Detroit. We were selected as host of the 2024 NFL Draft, and also my beloved Detroit Lions will be featured on the HBO series Hard Knocks this year for this upcoming football season. It's a day of celebration, y'all, so hand claps. Let me tell you, I'm decked out in my Detroit Tigers hat, my Detroit Tigers batting jersey, and I got my Detroit Pistons daggone mouse pad here. I'm telling you, I am very excited about today. Well, actually, the announcement came out yesterday, but I'm excited to talk about this today. I will tell you, as a native Detroiter, born and raised, lived there from 1974 to 1994 when I enlisted in the Marine Corps, I will tell you, being a Detroiter, it's a breath of fresh air to have good news because I've seen the negatives. I've seen the positives. My city has been slapped, beat up, kicked, punched. Any derogatory adjective you want to use, Detroit has been through it. A lot of it's its own doing. You know, the local governments, mayors, so on and so forth, right? Some of the citizens, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we can celebrate that we will host the 2024 NFL Draft, and the Lions will be featured on Hard Knocks. Now, I'm telling you, it's very exciting. Now the nation can see Detroit. We can paint a great picture, and I'll talk about that as I move forward. NFL fans can now fall in love with the Detroit Lions. Instead of laughing at us, now you can take a step back and kind of look at us. You know, they talk about the devil's in the details. I hate to use that term, but everything is in the details when you have these Hard Knocks series. So if you're a fan of them, definitely I can't wait to tune into it. I watch all the Hard Knocks that's been going on since 2001. I think that was the first episode with the Baltimore Ravens. But I will tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited, again, as a native Detroiter, to have two monumental things going on. One this year and one 2 years from now. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Again, as the thumbnail reads, a celebration for Detroit, selected as host of the 2024 NFL Draft. And also, the Detroit Lions will be featured in the HBO Emmy Award-winning series Hard Knocks this year, 2022, when the season starts. Be part of training camp this summer. All right, so what I did, I broke it down into categories. You know, I love me some categories. And the first category, I'm going to talk about the NFL Draft 2024 and have a couple subtopics, kind of takeaways to talk about that. And then I'll go ahead and talk about the Hard Knocks series, have a couple takeaways. We'll talk about that. We'll go ahead and close it out. All right, so we'll talk about the very first one. the 2024 NFL Draft. And the first thing I want to talk about is economic growth. I will tell you the economic growth that the city of Detroit can potentially earn, that could potentially generate, is huge. We're talking millions, hundreds and millions of dollars. Potentially could be billions of dollars. Again, this has happened in 2024. Now, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, the NFL, for years, the NFL hosted all their drafts at Radio City Music Hall, right? One area, one central location. So a few years ago, the NFL decided, hey, let's place bids on the NFL draft for cities to host it. Now, the city, not so much the team that the city plays in, but more so the key leaders in that city, talking about the mayor, the city councils, the sports commissions, all of those folks. They're charged and tasked with coming up, generating a proposal, generating a bid. Economically, they'll talk about the infrastructure of the city, provide a presentation about the city, a history, a briefing, so on and so forth. The NFL draft, when the city hosts an NFL draft, they have to make sure they cover everything from A to Z. We're talking infrastructure. We're talking about neighborhoods. We're talking about the freeways, the buildings, any type of buildings that may potentially are blighted. They will have to refurbish those buildings and or tear them down. This will be a huge event, and it's going to be located, from what I'm understanding, in the Campus Martius area, where you can see right here. Huge area for people to come down and populate this area, right? With food, restaurants, entertainment. If you look here at this picture on the riverfront that separates Canada from Detroit, they're talking about having fireworks. It's a 3-day event. And I'm going to read a quote here from Roger Goodell, who's the commissioner of the NFL. And we're talking about the NFL draft in Detroit. This is per Roger Goodell. The draft has become a prominent off-season event across the country, and we are excited to work with the Lions and their partners to bring the 2024 NFL draft to the Motor City. With the help of Visit Detroit, the Detroit Sports Commission, and the City of Detroit, the Lions' passionate fan base and all visitors will be treated to an incredible 3-day event. Again, this is a 3-day event going on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. The thing about it, the NFL, with the NFL draft, to me, in my opinion, and a lot of other people will weigh in as well, it has become the second most featured event in the NFL, second to only the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl reigns supreme. Out of all the sports, the NFL draft is the most watched draft in sports. The NBA is second. The NHL, I think, is third. And baseball, they have their drafts in the middle of the season. Makes no freaking sense. You don't even know who these cats are. But the love affair that Americans have with the game of football, particularly the NFL, college football, because we watch these guys, going through high school, going through college football. Ultimately, they get drafted by a team. Now we watch them cross the stage, put on the draft hat, hold up the jersey, have the press conference. They talk about, I'm excited to be with this team. I want to be part of something great. I want to be part of the culture. We love that as NFL fans. So now, as a fan of the Detroit Lions, right, the city of Detroit is going to host the freaking draft. Now, I talked about it earlier. So many things have to be done. The work has just started, because now we're selected. Okay, the work has just started. So much money to be generated. But probably more importantly, so many people will become employed during this time, because, again, this is 2 years from now. So they're starting to lay the groundwork now. All the engineers, all the people that work on the site commission, the sports commission, everyone that's involved, they're starting to lay the groundwork. But guess what? They're going to start employing blue-collar workers. Now, the vendors, the ticket folks, security, because you got to be able to police this whole area. Probably hire some more policemen to police the area. I'm telling you, it's going to be an economic boom for the city of Detroit, particularly the downtown area. So if you have a restaurant in the Corktown area, if you have a restaurant in the Midtown area, if you have a restaurant, let's even say restaurant and businesses in the Corktown area, restaurants and businesses, hotels in the Midtown area, restaurants, hotels, businesses in the downtown area, I'm telling you, you will have sustainable growth that can last for years if managed right. Now, the caveat to all that it is, I hope and pray, just because I don't want my city to be put in a bad light. All the negative folks that want to come out and, act a fool and act a donkey and do all these negative things to bring a bad light on Detroit, stay at home. Watch the draft at home. If you're from out of town or some of these other NFL cities and you want to come up and you want to turn up, you want to tear up Detroit, stay home. Tear up your own city. This is the time, 2024, April of 2024. I am looking forward to watching, because I ain't going to go. I'm looking forward to watching the NFL draft hosted by my city, Detroit. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. But more importantly, I'm looking at the infrastructure, how they're going to change some things, because downtown has been revitalized, as you can see some of these photos here. Downtown has been revitalized. I remember my parents and grandparents and every one of my family and friends talking about how Detroit was back in the day. It was the epicenter, car capital of the world, industrial capital of the world. People came there. It was actually, Detroit was the Paris of America. It was dubbed the Paris of America years ago. But then, everyone started moving out to the suburbs. All the stores left with the people that went to the suburbs. All the freeways were built through black neighborhoods. Then you had urban flight, white flight, urban renewal, all these different things. Eminent domain was imposed. I'm telling you, Detroit has been through a lot, just like a lot of cities of America. But the problem is, it's like Detroit is just the punching bag for bad jokes. It's the punching bag for bankruptcy. It's the punching bag for a lot of negative things. But you know what? 2024, we're going to lay the groundwork. And I am confident in the city and their key leaders, the sports commission, the city council, the mayor, the Detroit Lions, everyone that's involved. Roll your sleeves up and let's put our city on the map, because people are starting to come back to the city. The downtown buildings that was torn down, they're being built back up. All the streets that was bad in this downtown area, they've been, changed, reconfigured. The city is going to be great. I'm telling you, it's going to be a positive thing. I'm definitely looking forward to it. The only thing I will say about it, again, and I said it earlier, if you come in with that negative attitude, if you live in the city and you're negative, stay away from the draft. Don't want you there. If you're negative and you coming from another city, watch the draft at home. Don't want you there. Like I got control over where people can go. All right, so that was the economic growth. The next topic I want to talk about, kind of talked about it already, paints Detroit in the great light. Again, the NFL Draft 2024 has a chance to put Detroit in a positive space, make Detroit a positive conversation. The Super Bowl was there a few years ago, but the downtown was starting to, introduce themselves to the revitalization thing. But I would tell you, what the Super Bowl was there in 2006 compared to what the draft will have in 2024, you're talking about an 18-year difference. The city, I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to people saying, man, I went to Detroit. I had a great weekend. And the thing about it is, not only will Detroit, be perceived in the great light, some of the neighborhoods, some of the restaurants, I talked about the restaurants, if you're downtown, potentially you can make some money. But you can actually have that interest generated in some of the neighborhoods and some of the mom and pop restaurants, because now people that's not from Detroit, historically, I hate Detroit this, Detroit that, in a negative light. Now they can come to the city, and so they can spend their whole 3 days, not just at the draft that's going to be held downtown. Now they maybe can start going to some of the neighborhoods, going up on 8 Mile, maybe going to the suburbs, or going to some of these local mom and pop restaurants, some of these local and mom and pop shops, frequent some of those areas. So now when it's vacation time, they'll remember, hey, you know what? I had fun in Detroit. I was there for 3 or 4 days during that draft. People were great. People were warm. People spoke. Very respectful environment. The food was good. I partied hard. I drank hard. The shopping was great. The infrastructure was beautiful. Downtown was great. I took a trip to Canada. You can have all these things working for you. Working for us, I guess I should say. So I think it's very important. I think it's critical. It's critical that people come there with an open mind, particularly people that's not from Detroit. Come there with an open mind. Detroit is just like any other city. New York, all people love New York. Have you been to some of them boroughs in Queens, Manhattan, the Bronx, or some of those? Some of those ain't the most beautified areas, but people still love New York. Oh, I love Los Angeles. Well, have you been on Crenshaw, Slauson, Compton, some of these places? But people still love Los Angeles. Just like Boston, just like Philadelphia, all these major cities, particularly cities in the north, the Midwest, talking about Detroit, your Chicagos, your Clevelands, your Pittsburghs, the Buffaloes, those Rust Belt, traditional steel, auto, blue collar cities. They've been hit hard over the years, with the infusion of crack and the infusion of all these negative things that were going on in Detroit neighborhoods. Now's the time for these cities to come back. It's going to be a great comeback story, and I'm telling you, Detroit is going to get painted in a great light. I have confidence in my city. Again, like I stated, I have confidence in everyone, the key players, the key decision makers. Make us proud, Detroit. All right, so let's talk about Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks, and I got a couple sub bullets for that. Hard Knocks, I'm so excited about it, and I want to read a quote from Rod Wood, who is the president and CEO of the Detroit Lions. This is Rod Wood talking about the Detroit Lions that they were awarded and selected to be featured for the HBO series Hard Knocks this year. We are excited about the opportunity to showcase the city of Detroit and the amazing culture we are building at the Lions. HBO Sports and NFL Films are the best of the best, and we know they will be excellent partners in sharing our story with football fans around the world. I'm telling you, Hard Knocks is one of those series. If you're not familiar with it, it's a 5 episodes, and they take intimate details with that particular NFL team that they're featuring. They talk about key players, where they live at, home life, at the practice facility, playing in preseason games, going to and from work. It's just the overall A to Z coverage. It's almost like, I looked at a number yesterday, it's like almost 1,900 hours of footage. In the NFL, and also the team that's going to be featured, they have exclusive rights as far as editing. So they can have all these pictures, all these videos, and all these captions of everything. But before it gets released, before HBO releases it, the NFL and that featured team has to approve it. I'm definitely looking forward to that because a lot of people make fun of the Lions. They hate the Lions. The Lions suck, this and that and the third. But I think it will be great. So the thing I want to talk about here, it'll provide an intimate view of the Detroit Lions. Again, we're talking about players, some of the players that we enjoy, like DeAndre Swift and Jared Goff and some of these other guys, just to name a few. And particularly Coach Dan Campbell, who's a character in himself. I will tell you, it's going to be great. Growing up as a Lions fan, this is probably the first time in years I'm really invested as far as like fandom. I've enjoyed the Lions. I liked the Lions over the years. But ever since we hired Dan Campbell, there's something different about the culture. There's something different about the chemistry. And I know we only won 3 games last year, but I tell you, the games that we lost, we were close. All the games were exciting. We had a couple blowouts, but again, I like how Hard Knocks portrays some of these teams and have those discussions with coaches when they're getting ready to cut players and do some of the things that normal fans won't see or don't even care about. I'm going to enjoy this because I've watched the ones with the Oakland Raiders. I've watched the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Los Angeles Rams, Los Angeles Chargers. I've watched all the Hard Knocks, and I've enjoyed all of them. So now my team will be featured in the Hard Knocks this year. It's going to be outstanding. Again, providing an intimate view of the Detroit Lions. They'll talk about the history of the Detroit Lions. They'll talk about the city of Detroit, the history of the ownership, the coaches, the players, where they come from, what went to school at, some of their interests, going down to local restaurants, playing in the games, having conversations during the game, coaches chewing out the players, players getting upset, players fighting, players in the locker room, talking to reporters. Everything from A to Z that you can think of when it talks about the NFL, Hard Knocks will cover it. And they're going to cover the Detroit Lions this year. Can't wait for it. The last thing we'll talk about is changing the narrative. And I think America will fall in love with the Detroit Lions. It is my hope, even though I have no control over it. If you have a fan that's a fan of another team, because people, you're allowed to root for other teams. If you're a fan and you root for one team, but you watch this Hard Knocks that's coming up this year, you may say, you know what? I'm not from Detroit, but I think I'll root for these guys. I will tell you, it's going to be exciting, changing the narrative. Everyone talks about the Lions. All the Lions suck. Man, I remember when I was in the Army. Man, I saw, how you root for these teams? The Lions suck, this and that. Heard this stuff throughout my military career. But I still had my Lions hat on. I still had my Lions pennant. I still have my Lions, whatever. I'm telling you, my Lions helmets. I will enjoy this Hard Knocks that's coming up this year. I can't wait for it. I'm so excited. It's going to change the perspective of people's view. It's going to change the narrative of people's view of the Detroit Lions. Because a lot of people say, how do you root for these guys? It's just something about the Lions, man. I don't know what it is. We called them, my father used to call them lovable losers. He always say it's a great day for the Lions to not win. It was always something negative, because a lot of times the Lions produced and generated negative results. But I think this year is going to be different. So hopefully HBO Hard Knocks, they change the narrative of the way people view the Detroit Lions, change the way people view the city of Detroit. Because it all ties in together. The city of Detroit, the Detroit Lions. We're all in one. Because each city has something that they hold on to. New York has all these teams, but if you talk about the Yankees run New York. In my opinion, I believe the Lions run Detroit. Just like the Red Sox run Boston. The Lakers run LA. So on and so forth. Again, just to put a bow on this, I hope HBO Hard Knocks, with the way they structure their show, the way they focus on certain details of the show, kind of get to the personal side, then they get to the sports side, the athletic side, the friendship side, the coaching side, the player side, the fan side. All of those sides are covered. Change the narrative. Providing the intimate detail about the Lions, but let's change the narrative. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. Very short show. Initially, I was going to talk about 5 or 6 things not related to this topic, but I was like, you know what? I want to talk about the freaking Lions. There's so much stuff going on in the world, stuff on social media, stuff going on in life, real world things. Let's just have a light day and talk about something fun. So I hope I displayed passion, because I definitely felt passion when I was talking about this particular subject. Again, I don't live in Detroit anymore. Haven't been there since, I think, July of last year. Family still lives there. Biological family still lives there. But I tell you, I'm looking forward to watching this draft in my home, because I probably won't go there. I may. It all depends. But I'm looking forward to seeing the city of Detroit put in a positive light. I guess that's probably the biggest takeaway as we're closing this session out. I want to see Detroit put in a positive light. I want to see the Lions put in a positive light. But we can't have people coming from the outside putting us in a positive light if we're not going to be in a positive mindset and a positive mind frame going forward. So Detroit, I'm asking you as a former resident and a person that was born and raised in the city, no suburbs, in the city of Detroit, graduate of McKenzie High School, which is closed now. I'm telling you, Detroit, do me proud, do us proud, do the nation proud. The city of Detroit, Detroit Lions. You're on the clock. Appreciate you guys tuning in today here on the 29th of March, 2022. This has been episode 91 of the Trust and Believe Nomad Cast. No shows tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll come back Thursday with a sneaker story, and then come back Friday, close the week out. So hope you guys have a great Tuesday, have a great Wednesday, and we'll link back together Thursday. Have a great day. Be safe, be sound. All the best. All praises due. Godspeed. Let's say it all together. Trust and believe. See y'all Thursday.